I have watched this new Stellar Blade Nikke trailer so many times that I've noticed a few things that you may have missed, and I kind of just want to talk about it.
Who's he?
Kentman!
He's not important!
Okay. Hello, gamers and collectors. It's your boy Kentman, bringing that JRPG and fan service content you deserve. And there's a few things that I noticed about the new trailer, and I watched it so many times. The first thing that I'm going to talk about, just as a fun little thing, is that Eve is using Rappy's assault rifle, and it's the first time we actually get to see Rappy's gun in full 3D, and that is pretty cool. I love that. I love that a lot, and it feels like Rappy's gun is kind of iconic nowadays for Nikke, even though it's only been out for like 2 years, and I think that's pretty cool. It's really fitting. It is weird that Eve is not using her own gun for this new Nikke minigame that's in the game, but I still love it nonetheless. The other thing that I noticed right about here, besides, you get to fight a lot of past villains that was in Stellar Blade in this mode, so it makes me wonder what other villains that you'll get to fight for. I don't know if this is supposed to be Eve's burst or special, Adam and Lily coming in for an assist, which is pretty cool. I love that they do include them in some ways, and it makes me wonder why they didn't just include them, or at least Lily, in this mode as well. But I'll take what I can get. But the one thing I did notice is that Eve has that beautiful shift up ass jiggle that shift up is known for, and that is amazing. That is amazing. I mean, obviously we knew that it would, but like, man, that jiggle is pretty amazing. I love also just how when she shifts, it has a new type of shift aura that she has, besides like the one that she normally has when she does her quick step, when it's all pinkish more of a color, but it's white here. So it makes me wonder if it's just one of those things that just decided to change for this, or they just didn't really think about it that much. Maybe so. The other thing is that we get to see Litter's dog in full 3D, and he's going to be a companion with you, helping you find different treasures around the map. As maybe it's like a scavenger hunt, maybe he's the one that tracks him down. One thing I did notice is that you will have to find different sodas around the map. Maybe this is how you unlock a lot of the costumes that you will be able to have for Nikke. But I did notice that there's two different types of collectibles, one that's purple and one that is not purple. So maybe there's a different types of collectibles, like between the sodas and like a special currency like it was in Nier Automata. Also, Litter, his dog, has like a nice little animation with Eve. I wonder if like Litter will actually be a companion that you get to keep after the collab, because that would be nice. I mean, he looks like he's getting a little frisky, but either way, it's a really cute interaction. And then of course, you have your famous soda, and then it does a quick little transition to Anise, to Rappy. I like that each person has their own like identified item with them. You got Alice with her little bunny, and then they didn't show Dorothy, but one thing that I did notice, which is a big plus on this before we get to like more identifying features for Scarlet, is that her hat details is a lot better. Like this cloud detail is a lot more defined than it is in actual Nikke. You can see how this doesn't even have those smoke clouds at all on her pattern anymore. So it makes me wonder if she's going to get an updated design at some point, because they did do that with Rapunzel, because this is the brand new Rapunzel design. And if you go back to the old Rapunzel design, which is down here, she got a whole new design as like a 2.0. This is the original one, and then the new one was the 2.0 version. So it makes me wonder if they're going to do the same thing with Scarlet at some point. Maybe when the Nikke Stellar Blade collab happens for Nikke, I guess we'll have to see when that happens. That would be cool if it did happen. Also, I noticed that her strap is purple instead of white. I want to know why that was a change. I mean, I don't mind the change. Maybe it's supposed to fit the more purple aesthetic and accents that she has in her outfit. And I loved how the armor has this more defined look, and just Scarlet in general in 3D just looks freaking cool, man. Scarlet was always one of my favorite characters in Nikke, and seeing that she is one of the first to get a 3D model, it just gets me excited to hopefully one day see other Nikke characters as boss battles in Stellar Blade. If that ever happens, maybe there is another boss battle in there we just don't know about, but I feels like they would have shown it by that point. But I feels like Scarlet is just a good enough treat because she's technically, I feels like the most fitting, as she is a ultimate sword wielder in Nikke, so it makes me really happy that that's a thing. So you get to see her iconic sword as she uses in Nikke, which is pretty cool. And then it shifts to this whole new location. And if you don't know, this is actually the same scenery and background for Scarlet's burst animation, which is a really cool detail. Now the lighting and stuff in this scene is a little different, as you see like bamboo trees now, you get to see cherry trees and stuff. So like the idea has been updated for this new location, so it makes you again wonder if they'll update Scarlet and Nikke at some point. And the biggest thing we all notice, I'm sure you noticed too, if you play Nikke, you know, is Scarlet's brand new face shape, which I actually like. I really do like, because you know how Stellar Blade likes to take a more realistic style to their games, where they use actual human models to reference in Stellar Blade, and it makes me wonder if they use an actual person for Scarlet as well, and who that person is, because they have a beautiful face shape for Scarlet. I really do like their face shape a lot. It definitely gives you that innocent samurai kind of feel, but also somewhat of a diddly samurai as well. You also get to see a little beauty mark on Scarlet as well, so that's a really added touch. Also lipstick as well for Scarlet, which she doesn't have in her actual look from Nikke. So it also makes me wonder again if they are going to update her look at some point in the future. It would be nice to see that. And like the overall details is just looking really, really good. I don't know how she could see with this hat. And then immediately it goes into this brand new fight with Scarlet. And one thing I noticed is that she has a pink aura now. I don't know if they decided to change that because it's more aesthetically pleasing and it matches the lighting of the background instead of the purple that she normally has for her attacks, which if you go over here to Nikke and we go into her battle mode, oh, nope, that's not it. If we go over to Nikke and go to her battle mode, you see that her flashes of strikes is purple. That's what this normally is. But in Stellar Blade, they changed it to pink, which I think is actually a pretty good aesthetically pleasing change. I don't know if that is just for Stellar Blade itself. And then you do get to see when she like charges up, it does have that purple accents in it, which is really cool, which is, oh, that's gonna be a bitch to dodge, bro. Oh my God. You see like how much health that took? Oh my goodness. Look at this. Look how much damage that did. Oh, she's gonna be a bitch to fight, bro. But she's gonna be so much fun. So it's cool to see that they have this like cool little sword fight interaction, which is pretty cool, which I'm sure it happens when you shift to the second phase, which is what they're going to right now. You get to see them like face off and stand off. It's so cinematically cool, and Shift Up is just really cool at setting us up and building the hype for it. And as she shifts to her new phase, you can tell like the whole like scenery kind of changes. When she slices the cherry blossom, everything turns red, which is the same aesthetic that her Black Shadow version of Scarlet has, which is the more red and dark and evil kind of feel to her. As she says, she's going to shift to a whole new blade, and it makes me wonder if we are actually going to see her Black Shadow version in Stellar Blade, which would be very sick and cool to see. And her blade does turn slightly red. It turns to a whole nother color, as you can see the reflections of it where it shows red. So it makes me wonder if that's actually going to be a thing, which would be really, really cool. By the way, it'd be super sick. And then it just ends from there. Man, I am so excited for this. So excited. I might be greedy by asking for this, but I would love to see new Nikke bosses just show up every so often. Like, it doesn't have to happen every time, because then I think it can kind of get oversaturated. But if there's certain ones that does happen, like Nikke would be really cool to fight. Nestler would also be fun to fight. And like certain Nikkes that are like, you could tell would be a really, really cool boss fight, I would love to see in Stellar Blade at some point, and that would just be really cool. Now, look at this little gremlin. You get to see Doro in fucking 3D, which is crazy. And you actually get to hear the music as well, which is really nice. Let's put this back to normal. It has the Nikke little lounge music. Okay, one thing I did also notice with the voices is that they actually use Scarlet's English voice actor that's in Nikke for Stellar Blade, which is really cool.
Lord, I found some most valuable wine. Shall we have a cup in the near future?
I'll give it everything I've got. Witness true power. My ultimate blade.
And like, man, oh, this is such a cool collab, man. It just makes sense. It makes sense that both of these worlds will come together. I also love that the Nikke is sliced, because Eve like slashed the screen, and so this is sliced, which is a really cool little attention to detail as well. Amazing. Amazing. I love this trailer. I can't wait to play the content. June 11th can't come soon enough, and I'm excited for it. Let me know if there's things that I missed that I didn't talk about that you would like to talk about in the comments down below. Let's have a conversation about it. And you know, who do you want to see as a boss battle from Nikke in Stellar Blade? Let me know down in the comments down below. Are you excited? Let me know about that as well, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. But with that being said, that is everything I have for this video. A little bit of a breakdown of this new trailer, and I'm super excited for it. Cannot wait for it. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe for more. If you guys do enjoy some good fan service and JRPG content, I try to do my best to cover it all when I can. And with that being said, I am trying to hit 15K by the end of the year, and with your help and support, I can definitely do that. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video next time. Bye me.